What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we need to take a little bit of a look at a bunch of new level 5 Black Digimon. Not entirely sure why we've got 3 level 5s and they're all black to talk about today. I am not in charge of the reveals. However, I am excited by the reveals. So let's go and take a little bit of a gander, shall we? And we might as well start off pretty arbitrarily with MetalTyrannomon. Shout out to the lovely folks over at Ensan Gaming for the translations. So what we've got here is a 7 cost to play normally, 3 cost to digivolve, 7,000 power, which is about right. This is pretty much what we would expect from a level 5. This is pretty much your standard level 5. Nothing particularly good. Nothing particularly bad. But when you digivolve, you reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, and you add 1 level 6 machine card to your hand, and trash the rest. And I like this. This, to me, feels like a bunch of green cards. This is the kind of thing we see all the time with green cards. I mean, literally, we can look at the Lilymon from the green starter deck, which has this exact skill, except Lilymon is any level 6. This is specifically a level 6 machine. So when I say this feels like a green card, it is because it is in many ways very much what we would expect from a green card. So I suppose the rule here is fairly simple. If you're playing a machine deck, this seems pretty gosh darn good. Now, at this stage, you're probably thinking very much like I am. Well, hang on a second, Wassy. What have we got in terms of level 6 machines? Well, we've got a couple of non-black cards, but given that we are a black Digimon here, we're going to focus on the black ones. Machinedramon springs to mind. We've got the Machinedramon from BT2 that has blocker, and when you play it, you de-digivolve 2 of your opponent's Digimon. Or the Machinedramon from the starter deck that gives up to 2 of your Digimon reboot when you digivolve into it. So you got both those different Machinedramon you could choose from. Or, and this does go very, very well with the starter deck, because the other one we've got is the Blitzgreymon from the starter deck that's got security attack +1, and Digiburst 2 that lets you give one of your Digimon an extra 4,000 power for the turn. Which is cool, right? If you're playing these kind of Digimon, this is one of those no-brainer cards, because it is going to give you extra consistency, make it more likely that you're going to get those Digimon that you need when you need them. It is, frankly, a pretty gosh darned good thing all around. If you're not playing these kind of Digimon, then it turns into a vanilla Digimon that's nothing particularly special stats-wise, and it's something which is probably left on the bench. So that's really the deal here. If you're playing a Machinedramon deck or a Blitzgreymon deck, this is really good, and it is a Digivolution skill, not a play skill, which I very much appreciate. But there's also an inheritable skill here, whereby when this Digimon is machine type, it gains reboot. So once again, we are very much in the realm here of it's going to be really good for machines. It is not going to be great for non-machines. Now, it does bear pointing out at the moment that none of the 3 I mentioned have reboot. Now, to be fair, you're a black Digimon here, so you've always got the opportunity of just playing that Toy Agamon and giving yourself reboot. Toy Agamon's a level 3 that will give any Digimon that has digivolved up from it reboot. So, yeah. We've got a bunch of options. And you know, Toy Agamon's the one that always springs to mind for me. And that will give reboots to anything. But then again, if you really want to have reboot, it's that skill that makes you unsuspend on your opponent's active phase, not just your own. Then absolutely play the pair of them, and that's fine. I like this MetalTyrannomon. I'm going to go ahead and give it between 3 and 4 Wassies, and this is a weird one for me. Because we don't give half Wassies, that would be barbaric, obviously. The reason it's a weird one is because outside of machine decks, it's a garbage card, don't play it. Inside machine decks, it's kind of cool, but we just don't have a lot of options as it stands at the moment. Now, I think at this stage we can all say with a fair degree of certainty there is going to be a black machine Digimon that is coming around in EX-01. And that is going to work with this beautifully. So that is something to bear in mind. As it is, if you're playing a Machinedramon deck, I think this is something to consider pretty gosh darn strongly. Now, there are a couple of other level 5s, so let's take a look at an Andromon here. Why not? Gotta look at someone. Now, here we got the same 737 in terms of stats, nothing particularly special. But what we've got here is an evolution skill. When you Digivolve, you reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, and you add 1 level 6 machine to your hand, trashing the rest. And then it's got an inheritable skill that says while this Digimon is a machine type, it gains blocker. It is extremely similar to the MetalTyrannomon we just looked at. Now, for that reason, we're not going to go into this first skill very much with the adding the level 6 machine to your hand, because we've kind of seen that already. We've talked about it. I don't think there's much more we need to say. I don't think there's anything else we need to say. It is great in machine decks and not otherwise. So we go to the inheritable skill and we say, right, we got our 3 Digimon already, but it's worth pointing out that the Machinedramon from BT2 already has blocker. So if I'm playing a Machinedramon from BT2, there's no real reason to play Andromon over MetalTyrannomon. You've got the same stats, the same Digivolution skill that lets you go and search for a level 6, or at least gives you a decent chance of finding one, but instead of giving yourself reboot, you're giving yourself blocker. And I'm not a fan of this. Not when there's basically 3 Digimon we can choose from, and one of them already has blocker. Though, like I've said, you should very much expect another one to be revealed in the very near future that, in fact, is a level 6 machine that works with all of these. Incidentally, I didn't make a big enough deal about this a moment ago, so let me say it now. The combo of blocker and reboot is awesome, because of course reboot makes you unsuspend on your opponent's turn. So essentially you attack on your turn, unsuspend on your opponent, block on your opponent's turn, unsuspend on yours, and round you go. It is a really good combo, which is why I really like that MetalTyrannomon with the BT2 Machinedramon. But I'm sorry, when there's only really 3 Digimon to use it with, and one of them's already got blocker, that does hurt Andromon. If you're playing the other Machinedramon or you're playing Blitzgreymon, however, they are Digimon that are going to want blocker, so let's not pretend they're not really cool. Also, remember that you do have the option of playing that Craniummon here, and then as soon as one of your Digimon gets blocker, it can't be removed using effects from your opponent's cards. So if you're playing a deck that's got Craniummon in as well, giving blocker with this will give you extra advantages. Not saying it's a bad card, not by any stretch of the imagination, but I absolutely am saying it's not as good as MetalTyrannomon. I'm giving it 3 Wassies, and the main reason I'm giving it 3 Wassies is because we've already got a card which I think fits better in this kind of deck. Again, if you want blocker for whatever reason, clearly this is great. And then we can finish with MetalMamemon here, and again, you're going to start seeing some similarities pretty quickly. Stats-wise, we've got the same 7 to play, 3 to Digivolve, 7,000 power that we would expect. We've got that same skill that when you Digivolve, you can look at the top 3 cards of your deck and add a level 6 machine to your hand. And we've got the same 3 options as it stands at the moment, though we are expecting another one to come in a not too distant future. So what's the inheritable skill here then? Well, when you are attacking, if you are a machine type, you may delete 1 Digimon with a play cost of 5 or lower. Okay. This I can get on board with, ladies and gentlemen. This I can absolutely get on board with. And it's a little bit of a weird one here, because it's a little bit different, isn't it? Like the others are giving you, blocker, reboot, whatever, whereas this is coming in and it's actually giving you an extra skill in terms of actually messing with your opponent and deleting a Digimon. And again, I've got nothing else to say really about the first skill, but this second skill here, I can see this seeing a whole bunch of play. I can see a deck where you would play 4 of the MetalTyrannomon and 4 of this, so essentially all your level 5s let you search a level 6 potentially, which would be huge. And then you've got the option of giving yourself reboot, But you've also got the option of giving yourself this deletion skill. And obviously, you know, when you're running around against other Digimon, other decks that are playing little Digimon, etc., this is going to give you a huge advantage. This is going to be the kind of thing that is going to help you out massively. I mean, let's say for argument's sake that you're playing, I don't know, I'm not saying you play these cards together, but just as an example, let's say you're playing Darkdramon. I love Darkdramon. Darkdramon makes me very happy. But it also depends on a skill that basically gives you an extra 10 memory if you've got 5 D Brigade in your trash, to turn it into what is essentially a free cost to play Digimon that's got Rush. Okay. Problem is, there's a bunch of stuff out there like Terriermon that will stop you gaining memory outside of Tamer effects, and something like Terriermon will not be good here. It's going to hurt you, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to hurt. So what you really need is a way to get rid of something like Terriermon, and this would do that quite nicely, because it's got a play cost of 5 or less. It's not going to work against every deck, it's not going to work against every Digimon, but I do love that we've got it in there as an option. I love that we can be taking out little Digimon, and maybe it's getting rid of something super annoying like a Terriermon, or maybe it is just getting rid of one option for your opponent to evolve in the future. The point is, there is enough here that I really like this one, and I'm again giving it between 3 and 4 Wassies. We don't give half Wassies, that would be barbaric. I like these. They're incredibly narrow. They are only going to work in machine decks, and as it stands at the moment, like I've said, we got 3 options with a 4th we are assuming on the horizon. And we got 3 level 5s, maybe there's more than 1 level 6, we'll have to wait and see. But my point here is that in those kind of decks, these are good. Outside of those kind of decks, don't play these cards. They ain't good. That's what I think. I want to know what you think. So let me know in the comment section, would ya? Go nuts! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWassie, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCG Radio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can do exactly that. But by far the most important thing is always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wassie Plays.